All
Remember.
right, welcome to Feature Friday today. I'm so glad you all found us. We're going to work on that for next time. And today I thought what we had talked a little bit last time I was with you about some of the things that we were looking at for I'm writing up for the learn.pagewheel.com blog. And one of them is how you can, basically use PageWheel to increase your income if you're a blogger. But there's a little known secret out there that those same techniques will work for a lot of people. You don't have to have a blogger. And one of the things that, and so I wanted to kind of go into some of the things that we've been using the page wheel packs, the copy packs for. And so I'm going to share my screen here. And show you, so one of the things that we think about when, let's say we're talking about an affiliate product or something like that within a blog post, is finding ways that make things clickable to another place. So I'm talking about potentially like how you would label a link or head a paragraph or something that would bring the reader in. But you can see how that's exactly the same thing you're talking about if you're titling and doing a description for a Pinterest pin or putting something on Facebook that brings you in, is thinking about how you can get the stop the scroll, stop the read, get somebody's attention, and then back it up with something that actually will compel them to go into take an action of some sort. So I want to walk through several places that there's different. And it's really funny because that we all might come to the same place with different, with thinking what we're going to be doing in mind, and then end up with our favorites, even though they're maybe a little bit different, and it's probably suited to your brand or what, kind of how salesy or what you're trying to do at any given moment. But there's several places that have quite a bit of information that you could use for that type of thing. So I'm going to just put in here, we are going to a summer camp for kids guide with local locations for Dallas. Okay. So obviously the social calendar, is something that is going to give you kind of broad ideas for each day of the week. The sales conversations is something that, let's just look at those, because this is one that I don't use a whole lot, but it's because you forget it's there. And so this is something you can look at and just say, hey, is this something, has the information I want? And I know a lot of you are using the tweetables, which is a really good place to start, and the viral hooks, which is a really good place to start too. I should have loaded this before I came on.
I've been making some YouTube videos and I was like, the only thing we're missing is the Jeopardy music while we wait for this
Yeah,
part.
exactly.
So I sing it.
Yeah, so this has it's like conversations to sell. And why that sounds a little bit scary, I think one of the things that's really cool is that basically what that means is it's a conversation that has a call to action, a strong call to action. So like, are you interested in summer camp kids guide local locations for Dallas? Because I just visited some amazing summer camps in the area, let you know what I want for the scoop. So thinking about why, why did AI come up with that as a conversation seller, is because of the personal experience. Like it's mentioning, I went and visited these camps. Now, obviously, in this case, liar, liar, pants on fire. But you can tweak that in a way that holds that same philosophical statement in a way that is actually truth. So say, hey, are you looking for local summer camps in Dallas? Because I have 3 kids who have, 16 years of summer camp experience in this area. Let me tell you, let me give you some tips. So I use the same, even though I took the lie out and replaced it with a truth from my own life. but it established the authority. So you can see, like, if you're just scrolling through looking for summer camps in Dallas and you come across a mom that says, hey, by the way, I have 16 years of experience with 3 different kids in this area, I have something to say. You can see how that's a very clickable. Like if you're in that market, you're going to click through because you're going to like, what does she have to say? Like, I don't want to spend 16 years of summer camp tuition to find out what she knows. So do you know any families looking for summer camp options in Dallas? I just found a great resource for finding the perfect fit. Want me to share it with you? Thinking about how that comes behind the scene is thinking about sharing something maybe on your personal Facebook page, maybe within an email conversation that you want someone to take action on. So a direct message, if you're using ManyChat, like on Instagram, saying, hey, put these words in and I'll send this to you. Remember, when you are emailing someone something or direct message something, yes, it takes you a little bit extra time, but on the other end, that feels like a very personal, thing. So all of a sudden you took one-to-many, and let's be clear, your readers and your followers know you're one-to-many when you're broadcasting something on Instagram or on Facebook or in an email. But when you're like, hey, respond to me in this email, or, DM me, then all of a sudden that becomes one-on-one, and that feels a lot more personal. That's why email, I feel like, is so personal to people, is because that's how they interact with friends and family sometimes, just like a text or something like that. So thinking about, like, sometimes you're not going to use exactly those same things, but it's going to get your brain thinking like, why would it say that? Let's do one more. I'm excited to share our family's new strategy for choosing a summer camp in Dallas. It's been a game changer for us this year. Want to hear how we found the perfect fit. So this is similar to like bringing it down personally as far as establishing you as the expert, but also like, hey, this is like maybe what I didn't work in the past. I've found the new secret. Let me share it with you. So you can see how you could change that into fit whatever you're selling at any given time, in a way that is like, hey, like, I think it all goes back to a lot of times when we're making recommendations or when there's a reason we're selling something, it's because we failed, or we have bought the wrong things, or we've done the wrong things. Like, learn from us. You don't have to make the mistakes. So sometimes giving your just the ability to think around that in a little bit different space. Let's see. Yeah, here's one more that kind of is almost an empathy-based one. Spend hours researching the best summer camps in Dallas for kids. Oh, well, it said, but it was worth it. Found some hidden gems I can share with you. So I'm thinking like, hey, have you been in the trenches of this and not had a clear winner? I have that solution. And it really is problem, solution, fit. Problem, solution, fit. But it's just different ways to phrase it. All right, let's go back. I'm going to run another one, and then we can come back and look at this one. The viral hooks. Actually, let's go to social conversation. We'll run that while. So let's see. Yeah, another thing to think about is timing, because when you think about what you have to offer, what they need, and then the timing's really important. Like launching summer camp guides in August, super not helpful. Launching summer camp guides in April, super helpful. Or before they fill up, which is another urgency thing. Is if you can add in that urgency thing, that could be really helpful. So summer's around the corner. I found some incredible summer camps for kids in Dallas. Let me know if you want to share the details with you. But you could be like, if you wanted to up the ante on that, is, some of these are going to fill up. So I want you to get this information as soon as possible. This is also, by the way, a really good way to have an excuse to email your people in additional time. So if no one's ever in fact, I get this from, I don't know if you guys shop at Cupshe, which is like swimming suits and cheap clothing. It's like CUPSHE, but they have an app, but they're really, really good at having an excuse to email you. Like, so, you know, like, and then and a very, very good cart abandon, you know, AI. So like, you know, 2 days after you like abandon that swimming suit in your cart, they'll, you know, they'll send you an email that's like, we have a special deal for that berry swimming suit for half price, you know, like it's only good for the next 12 hours. But it's, and at no point, and I'm like, damn you, Cup Sheep, for using my email for spam. I like, no, like, oh my gosh, that's what I wanted. And now it's half price. And oh, it's only half price for another 12 hours. So psychologically, if you're giving that, like, hey, I just to remind you that, you know, the cart is closing, or this deal is expiring, or this thing is filling up, is that like at that point people are like, thank you, I totally spaced it, I need it, you know, I forgot to put it on my calendar, or that. So that can give you a really good kind of an excuse to send another one. All right, so here we go on the conversational starters, and some of these are going to be similar without the call to action as much. So like, what did you enjoy most about being at camp? And you can see how you could take that as, you know, speaking to most likely the parent, if you're on, you know, Facebook or more of a parent social network, is bringing back that nostalgia for why it would be important to send their kids to camp as well. So thinking about who you're talking to, and then what motivations do they like, you know, oh, you know, those memories, what was your best camp memory? What, you know, what do you remember from camp? What did you learn being at camp? Like, why was camp important? And then like, you don't even have to be, at that point, it's not even like, you're not even having to spell it out. And when you can get people to come to the realization that they need to do something without spelling it out, that's kind of the ultimate thing. It's like when, I think there's just women in here, when we make sure that our husbands think it was their idea. Like, what? That's never happened, but it happens. That's a very, very effective strategy. And so if you can think about ways to have conversations where the answer to that problem is obvious and you're not even spelling it out, you're just like, you know, oh, by the way, like, you know, what was your best, you know, camp memories? You know, hey, like, I just remember gaining a lot of independence being at camp. You know, maybe that's what's wrong with this generation. Maybe don't spell it out quite that, like, but like how parents were like, oh my gosh, I never thought about how I gained independence at camp. That's something my child is struggling with. You know, it's an obvious fit then at that point to come grab the summer camp guide or something like that. All right, let's go back to one more. And I wanted to show in the, oh, actually, I lied. I'm going to do two more because I want to do the heart and head solutions. And then let me go back and do one more, the website. Where's the list? Information. Okay, I'm going to run those. Well, I may have overloaded it by trying to do too many things at once. Let me refresh. Here it is. Cool. All right. Yeah, this one just has to load for just a second. And that, by the way, you may overlook these things that are at the top, but how to sell with organic content, these are actually really good. I mean, you wouldn't think less because, I mean, Rachel put these together, but lead to a conversation, a connection. That's what, you know, puts us above a catalog or something like that. Research customers, established as an expert like we're talking about. And a lot of times that's really personal. I know as I was working with a blogger yesterday, when we were talking about her about page, and this might be really helpful for your about pages in your, whether it be on a website or in a book or something like that, is establishing yourself as an expert in with a human connection. So if you are like let's say you're writing a recipe book, you do not have the authority, of course, is a chef. But that chef authority doesn't necessarily have home cooking experience. And so spelling out for your customer or for your reader, and then also for Google, if this is on a website, is what qualifies you to create, recipes for a family or whatever like that. So thinking about connecting the dots. And in this case, like, hey, I have a family of 5, and we live very busy lives, and my kids are picky, and I've managed to create, multiple time-tested recipes over time that my kids will eat, my family loves. Let me show you how. Or if you're thinking about like budgeting, put it in the light of whatever you're selling and connect the dots for, so you don't have like, I'm a culinary trained chef. That's actually not as helpful to me as a busy mom as somebody who has time-tested thing. The other thing these days is that walk through your personal process. Like, I only publish things, or this book is only things that, I have, I've tested through, through time. Or one of the reasons why, like, hey, these are grandma's best recipes is, they've been handed down generation by generation, and they weren't written by AI last week with who knows, no testing. So spelling out the fact that, it's a human touch, that it's human testing, picky budget, whatever it needs to be to connect you to the experience. All right, so let's go to this one. And it looks like the head or rational reasons why people would say yes. So this is also like, if you're struggling with what conversations to have or how to motivate someone to say yes to your product, this one is a really good place. Parents with their children to have fun and memorable summer experience. Think about what we just said. Parents value the opportunity for their children to learn new skills and engage in a variety of activities. Parents appreciate the convenience of a local summer camp locations in Dallas for easy drop off and pickup. We hadn't even thought about that. Like, where are you located in the city? I'm going to find the things that are the best, closest to you. Children can develop independence. They can develop confidence and stuff like that. So looking at these pieces and making sure that you are hitting the ones that are best for that target market. And let me go back one more time and run this while we look at this. I wanted to do nope, not this one. And the things that they say yes, and the reasons, there's another one of these that say the reasons why they say no, those work really, really well. If you can overcome the no's before they even come in their head, then you've overcome the no's. And that's what's really fun about those no's, is going through and creating content around the no's, so that you're preempting the no's. And it's just like you're making it their idea to overcome those no's before they even have it. So let me see if there's one more here. Support local businesses and organizations by supporting their camp. So you can see how that's a real, like, one we haven't even talked about, thinking about like, how can we make sure that our community is stronger? Well, we buy local. And children can cultivate a love for nature and outdoors through hands-on experiences. You mean we'll get them off their devices? What a shocker. All right. And then the other thing I just want to bring up is it's these blog post content that we have multiple different blog post content in here that you can run. But I don't it's great if you're going to write a blog post. Yeah, that's obvious. But I want you to think about all the different ways you can use this with longer form content. So you can use just like the introduction is usually just, so what the introduction was coded as is basically what this is about, why you need it, you know, why you keep reading. So you can think about that would likely, a lot of times, this is what I put into a Pinterest description. Because I write my introductions on my blog posts the same way, because generally Google will pull those first sentence or two. And then like, so when I'm making a new pin, I'm just grabbing my first sentence or two and putting in there, because that's what a good introduction would do. So if you're like, hey, I want to add a little bit more, you know, information, by the way, if you're putting these things onto social networks that have like the read more ... remember when people click on that read more, it is considered an action on that post or an engagement activity. So if you can get someone to click on that to read more, you won the algorithm game on that person. So thinking about, sometimes it's like you know, put some secrets down there. Get people to click on those, engage with your posts, and that kind of stuff. So thinking about every once in a while, mix it up, test some longer form content, and you can see that like there are so many different paragraphs that you could mix and match it with different ways. I know some of you have been trying to find ways to create like emails that you're talking, you know, something through every single day. Well, you could probably cut this up into 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 emails with different ways, highlighting different parts of what's in this blog post. So just copying, pasting into something, getting a call to action at the end, switching it up so it sounds like you, that kind of stuff. But this is going to give you some information in there. And the short bullet list is generally like some action taking thing. So research different, you know, so this could easily be like, it looks like in this case, like how to find the best Dallas summer camp, research, read reviews, consider your child's interests. So you could do this or you could use the Rachel method, is say, I'm going to show you how you can find the best in Dallas. Here's your 7 steps or 5 steps, whatever. Or I could do all that for you right here. So you can see here, it's very easy DIY. And then you can see at this point, I could be selling that product for a pretty significant amount of money. When you look at what does someone actually have to go through to get this information that I have? And you can see that like, okay, here, I'm going to show you how to do a DIY, but oh, by the way, or you could just buy my $14.99 guide. And all of a sudden, 3 hours and unknown, you know, researching, like all of a sudden looks really, really daunting next to $14.99 or something like that. So, all right. Any questions about that? Comment camp, yes. So I love I love the conversations you can have around any of this stuff with like ManyChat, and if you haven't set up ManyChat right now, you can fake it, by the way. You can have them comment and then you can just send them directly.
I do that. I'm old school. I actually have my daughter as my VA. I'm that one that's like, get this, and then she goes into the group. But what it does, actually, it's really good. Even if you don't use ManyChat in your groups, is it keeps a post coming back to the top, and you keep saying comment for, and it keeps your group. I've got a group of like 6,000. Over 2,000 people in that group have seen that one post because it keeps popping up, and you don't say, oh, just look in the comments. Nobody reads the comments, guys. So I've got like, they say chalk paint, and I post the link to my email list, right, with the chalk paint recipe, and then the next person comments chalk paint. They didn't even look at the comment above or the 20,000 comments in front of it. They're like, yes, I want that.
I want that.
Yeah, and then you just, every time you comment on that post, it pops it back to the top of your grouping.
Yeah.
So then you see it again. They're like, oh wait, I want that.
Well, and just speaking from experience on some of these things is like, you think, oh, I need to set up something fancy, but then like, you know, is it really worth setting up, you know, this thing that's going to take you 30 minutes or an hour or two to learn and then 30 minutes or 20 minutes or 10 minutes each time, when you're going to be sending out between 3 and 20 things, especially if you can remember, especially at the beginning when you're building a lot of this stuff and you're trying to get feedback, is you don't have to just send them that thing and stop talking to them. You can send them that thing and ask them a question, or send them that thing and ask for their feedback, or send them that thing and say, hey, what else, what else do you need? I really appreciate, like, I made this because I figured it was useful, but did this solve your problem, or do you still have questions? Because that's one of the benefits of just kind of being a human these days, is that we have that edge over
against AI.
if you've ever been stuck in that like tree, the help tree on the phone, when like, what's your problem? And you're like, by the end, you're just screaming, operator, don't let that happen to your people. You're a human.
Yeah. And this is just, my group is not super active. It's a crafting group, and it's 6,000 over the years, right? So it's not a super active group, but this post, it's a strategy somebody else told me in a different group. And I thought, I'm going to try it in mine and see what happens. And like I say, in about probably 3 months, what is it? A third of the group have seen and engaged on that one post. And that's not heard of in a Facebook group,
That's
like,
crazy numbers. Yeah.
it is, now the rest of the posts don't look like that, but
But the thing is also think about what is that post in your group that you want everybody to see, or that post on your page that you want everybody to see. Is that giving, where could you make something to give away? I have no idea where you could do that. But giving something away, getting people interacting, direct messaging them when appropriate, asking questions, having conversations. These are all like what social media is all about on that. So yeah, Stacy, it was a list of like summer camps in Dallas that was based on like experience. Let's see. Yes, Reels and Insta, like those short form. Okay, I'm old school. I'm from when we used to talk for more than 9 seconds. So I know, talk crazy talk now. Yeah, but I think that's one of the things that's super helpful. Like if you can catch someone's attention and then like have them take action to learn more, whatever that looks like. And obviously if you can do it within the platform with a comment or a heart or something like that, that's very, very powerful.
I keep clicking on those MRR, like I made $10,000 in 2 minutes posts, and like I gotta stop clicking on them. My feed is getting flooded
I
with
was
them.
gonna say, you're gonna have all of that. You're gonna be making $1 million a minute if you just add that all up together.
And I never did anything but was a butterfly farmer before that.
Yes.
I'm like, stop, Kim, stop. It's like a train wreck. But they are compelling. That's the thing. And I realize there's an audience there that's stopping the scroll for that, because they're hitting on these fears and pain points and things like that. And some people are making money at it, I'm sure, but I wouldn't, it's not my thing. But
well, let's talk about you. But so one of the things that makes me irritable is when the people, like they're using a technique for evil. I mean, and I don't know who they are. So, but a lot of people are not necessarily it's hard to deliver on making $1,000 a minute. So I'll just make a broad statement that might be an overstatement of their income. But like, what about that made you stop? And think about what kind of story do you have inside that might stop the scroll for someone else without the crazy income claims. But you all have compelling stories that are like, hey, like I was a stay-at-home mom with no tech knowledge that now makes a living on the internet. So like,
I don't even have a high school education.
Exactly. And I mean, like all the things. So like thinking about like when you see those spammy things and it made you stop, think about why. Why did it make you
That's
stop?
it. That's why I
And is
keep
there
clicking.
something that you could do that could have that similar thing without all the spam? Mhm.
Yeah, I think the short reels, not necessarily your face, even as people walking through the woods or whatever, like the short 9-second reel. I think that's a really great idea with the more information below, but it's the short reel, the headline, somehow they see and feel themselves in that. And that's what
Yeah.
stops me, right? And I'm like, well, okay, if I stopped and and I know what happens after that. I know how algorithms work, and now I've got 7,000 of them coming in my feed, right?
Right, right. Well, and then also thinking about where you want to position yourself in the internet's algorithm.
Yeah.
So like the words that you put around that video and the things that are, said around that video are going to pigeonhole it within what the context that the algorithm thinks. So, you know, you can kind of play with that a little bit as far as how you're phrasing things. Like, oh, I want to be, surrounded by, and like you think about if you click on a few weight loss,
Same
reels,
thing.
all you're going to see is weight loss for the rest of the day.
Oh
So
yeah.
where do you want to position yourself so that you're actually in that environment that's going to keep you with the people that you're trying to reach and not some crazy thing, that the internet
But
just
it
sees
gave
that.
me, I wanted to look at where in Pagewell would I go to find that? Would it be the viral headline, I guess? And then the introduction or would be like, go down below and
Yeah,
see.
the viral hooks, and I'll run one of those real quick here,
Yeah.
while
Let's
we're
pretend that we're
talking.
making a 9-second reel and we're selling. What are we
Mhm.
selling?
The viral hooks and descriptions. The other one if you're looking
For
for,
summer camps in Dallas.
yeah,
Why not?
yeah, exactly. And then the other one, if you're just looking for, if you're brainstorming, hey, I need to, put out a few reels, I also like the pizzazz makers, which is, that one has a lot of ideas. And then you
Yeah.
could put some of those ideas into the viral hooks. So I'm going to share my screen here.
It's super easy to make a reel even on desktop now.
Yeah, which is so good.
Yeah. Goodness.
I was making video pins yesterday, and my dog sleeps underneath me all day. And I was like, I made a pulley and I was just putting it up and down in front of the dog's face because it just was very compelling. And I was, promoting how to make a pulley with your kids today. So I was like, it's literally 2 minutes. I have a video pin. Like, all right. So here's the viral hooks. What I like about this too is it has the hook and the description. So if you're
Mm,
looking for like a Facebook kind of title and description, or a Pinterest title and description, or a blog post title and intro paragraph, these could be really helpful. A lot of times people are attracted by like top 10 or best of, or can't miss, exciting activities, unforgettable summer, memory making. You think about that. Local Dallas camps that make summer great. Uh, let's see, fun-filled adventures make summer unforgettable. Where to find the coolest camp, summer memories start here. I like that one.
yeah.
And then, like, if you don't get what, you could also just look straight at the description too, because sometimes that's going to have, guarantee nonstop fun. Let's see what other words they're using. Perfect summer program for every child's interest. Let them explore new hobbies and make friends along the way. We hadn't even talked about the friendships yet. So you can see how, even though we talk about one product and we kept pulling different ideas off of each page, we're still coming up with things that we hadn't thought of on like page
Mhm.
5.
Yeah.
Imagination soar, creativity through art, theater, music, and more. Thinking about like maybe people are looking for something specific. So you're like, hey, if you're looking for a theater camp, I have
Mhm.
that. If you're looking for an art camp, well, I have those suggestions. And
Yeah.
that's like, we talked about this a few weeks ago, how like when we would create a post of 20 ideas for X, we might put sections that are like, hey, the best art camps in Dallas, the best theater camps in Dallas, but the best music camps in Dallas within that best camps of Dallas. So then you can say, hey, I have a list of theater camps, I have a list of music camps, I have a list of art camps, and I have a list of, it's all the same content. It's that, but you're able to really hone in onto what people are exactly looking for.
Yeah, and Reels are getting a lot of traction right now, so it's a great opportunity to point people, because you're putting a call to action in the bottom of the reel.
Yeah.
Come to my blog post, or it doesn't have to be buy my course.
Yeah, buy your course, opt in, basically opt into my list with this freebie, get more information, start a DM, so many ways to get them to be interacting with you and really leverage that, which can be really exciting. So, all right. Any other questions today?
You're right.
I've answered them all. It's amazing.
Hi, Holly.
Hey,
I had
Lori.
a question.
Good.
How are you? Hello, everybody. I did see Deanna had posted an issue I was having with the link, and that's definitely solved. But I also was having a problem with the when I was creating, I pulled up a screenshot. I was creating something and got held up in the meta tag.
Yes.
And it wouldn't proceed.
So did you put something in the meta tag, or it just wouldn't go past the meta tag, that little box?
It wouldn't go past. I have a screenshot. It basically just twirled around where it says confirm your metadata.
Okay.
I wasn't even going to put anything in the pixels at this point and it just wouldn't go forward. It just kept hanging out. That was over the weekend.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Have you opened the website up since then?
I just did before to see if that other issue was resolved, where it got it didn't get, when you put the link for your website sales page. Yeah, it didn't work, and that was fixed. So I haven't gone in to do that yet. Okay. So should I assume it's fixed?
I'm hoping it is, but what would be really helpful is maybe after we get off here, when you have time today, is open up the website. And, you could go straight to the website section of that product that you made and just click through all the way to the end to see if you can get past that metadata. Okay. And if you can't, if you could just send in through Intercom, the little live chat, just let us know. And if you don't mind, if it is a problem on just that one thing, let us know what that product is. Because we probably will have someone kind of log in behind the scenes as you and go through that process to see if they can figure out where the catch is.
Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Thank you.
It's super helpful, guys, if you do come across something like that, to shoot us a little note in the live chat. We're making tickets behind the scenes and getting the guys on this on a minute-to-minute basis in some cases. So don't be shy. Don't feel like you're complaining or something. That's what we're here to help and make sure it's working properly.
Yeah, that's why I did all the screenshots. In fact, I'll send you another one that I won't go into here, but it was just, it's like a formatting thing where I did a 4 or 5 page digital product and it just brought down rows that I can't touch, that are just not making any sense.
Yeah, send that in.
I'll send you a screenshot.
Because there's some weird things sometimes on the end of pages and beginning of pages that we have to lock down the pages so that obviously we know where it's ending, but sometimes that's off just a little bit. So we want to clear that up so that you don't have that problem in the future. And then obviously anyone else using that template, because often it's a template problem, or that one page is spilling off into another page or something like that. So
I'll send you a screenshot.
Kathy?
I don't think we can do it yet, but on our sales page, will we be able to then create a upsell?
No, basically this is going to be I want you to think about it as a starter funnel.
Right.
So a very, very simple product that goes from start to end. We're not going to take over the ClickFunnels world or go high level because we want you to be able to launch within the next 20 minutes. Right. But let's talk about how you can kind of hack that. So you could use the community button on the thank you page to do an upsell or send them to another funnel. And we've seen people, what I would call daisy chaining that within Page Wheel, basically creating a product that,
Mhm.
you know, that then they're doing the next product that they're putting on this sales page, and then the next product that they're putting on this sales page, that you could do that. But, and what I love to think about is, let's say you launched 20 things this last month, and one of them hit it really, really big. You have that data now that if you're like, hey, I want to do a big old funnel with upsells, downsells, I want to sell 432 things right in a row. Like that's going to be your best guess of the first funnel you're going to make in a more expensive software. So you could do your testing here. And then if you're like, hey, I'm going to, I love that, but wait, there's more. So if you want to, but wait, there's more, 450 things in one funnel, then you at least are starting with a really good concept, a proven concept, something that you can get, attention into. So that's one of the things I love about this.
Yeah, I just wanted to take and have a product and then have some videos that would be the upsell for, like a mini course type thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to have them in the sales page where you have to keep coming back to that. I'm thinking about having them in the product, have all of the links in the product so they
Right.
can just easily, once they download the product, they could have the links.
Yeah. So, I mean, a way to hack that is that you could create the product, you could create a starter product that doesn't have the videos, and then, hey, do you want me to walk you through that? Then you could do basically that same product with those links on that next sales page. So it's kind of cool because you could almost clone the whole thing, go in and add the links on that second one and change the sales language around it.
Yeah.
And so that they're basically like, hey, here's the one without me walking you through it. Here's the one with me walking you through it. Kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So thank you so much.
Yeah. And by the way, Kathy, the other thing you could do with that is if you have that secondary product and you have it on the, on the thank you page as, hey, if you want me to walk you through it, there's going to be a lot of people that either miss that or don't see it. But that's a really compelling thing for you to email them. Anybody that buys that is say, and not just once, because you might say, hey, by this point, you probably are here in the course, or you might have learned this. Oh, by the way, I learned that too, and a way that you could start giving them tips for shortcutting it. And oh, by the way, if you want more tips, I actually will walk you through this, and then, just keep sending them to that second product that has the video walkthroughs.
That's true. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it. You can just send them to the second product. So that's,
Yeah.
I mean, if they only buy the first product. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you so much.
and don't overthink it. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a whole new product, because you're solving this problem and then you're walking them through it. So
Right, I thought I'd have one page that I would supplement into the second product. So it's all together.
Right. I love that. Yeah, I think that would be really easy to do and compelling, because people have high expectations of themselves to do it themselves. And then if you've ever tried to learn something and then you're like, you're 2 hours into a YouTube deep dive and you're like, I would pay $1 million for someone just to show me how to do this.
That's how we make our bread and butter.
Yes.
Is showing them further, because I got a course, and I think I told you guys this, I'm giving it away because I realize, and the stats prove that people don't finish them, but that gives me an opportunity to get them on my email list and then say, hey, do you need further support? Are you stuck? We have more help beyond just doing the course and leaving it in the graveyard and never coming back to it again, and that's where I prefer to spend my time with people, is in that support role. So rather than promoting course after course.
And this kind of goes back to what we're talking about with those, here's the 6 steps you could do it yourself. And by the way, it's going to take you time, energy, and money. Or if you want a shortcut, I'll walk you through it in 20 minutes. So that's a very compelling thing after the fact, after they've already committed to doing this. They're like, hey, I'm going to do this. And then they realize, oh, it's harder than I thought. Oh, someone's going to walk me through it in 20 minutes. That's super compelling. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times I would have just opened up my wallet after a Google search and it didn't return the right results. Like I would literally pay someone at Google to give me the right video at this moment. So you can kind of solve that problem because you know the time involved in all of that. So go ahead and leverage that information for good.
That's
Not
that's a
evil.
that's a super common and super effective value ladder, right? Is the do it yourself done with you, like, you know, Facebook group office hours or something like that, and then done for you as the high end.
I love that.
Right.
Yep. So, and for those of you that are like, hey, I eventually want to do one-on-one coaching, that kind of stuff. That's how I started. Was literally, it wasn't fancy. In fact, I still don't have a funnel for coaching. It's literally like, hey, I'll hop on a Zoom with you for 45 minutes. It's X number of dollars, and we'll do whatever you want to do in this whole thing. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Because they have a specific question, they really are dying to get somebody that knows what they're doing, their answer to it, and solve the, like, clear away the stuff they don't need to worry about and just get right to the heart of the
Right.
thing they do need to get done,
I mean, this is not unlike, when you have like a legal issue and you're not a lawyer, how you're like, give me, 30 minutes of a lawyer's time, because yes, it's expensive, but it's way less expensive than what could be happening if you don't get this information. So, set yourself up as an expert. What you have to share is every bit as valuable as that lawyer that you just send $200 an hour to without even thinking, because you're like, it's a bargain if you get what you need.
Yeah, generally it's hard-earned knowledge on your part, and you've done the work, and
Yeah.
you've gone through all the millions of questions, and then you've paid for courses and been in groups and all that. We tend to kind of think, oh, who am I? But I finally realized I don't have to be the expert on the thing. I just need to be an expert.
Oh my gosh, can I show you guys something that like
Yes.
sums that up? I just learned, I'm so excited. So this is, hold on, let me see if I can share it. It's just,
It should.
so
You should be able
I'm just in this group run by this former Navy SEAL dude that's for business owners. And he was like, hey, do you want me to give you the formula for how to create confidence on demand? Like, absolutely. Right. But check this out. He's like, well, you just reverse engineer it, right? So in order to have confidence, you need to have experience. In order to have experience, you need to build the skills. In order to build the skills, you need to practice. In order to practice, you need to have the knowledge, and you get the knowledge by learning. But his point was confidence comes last. So if you don't feel confident in all of these other steps, that's normal and part of the process, and you are doing it right.
Yeah.
And
I
I just
love
thought
that.
that was super powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And
Like you guys are saying, right?
I love the simplicity of it. It's very true.
well, and that the other thing is we're talking about on Monday is like, is that you are going to gain that confidence through doing it. And so like that like actually proves it with a much fancier. Like,
Well,
Well,
it's
and
just so
it's-
funny to see it laid out like that, where you're like, oh, the formula. It's what we've been saying all along. I just have to
It's
actually
true.
do it. Okay.
And it's
Dang
as
it.
true as the Navy SEAL needs it to be for what he has to do, and what we need to do for what we want to do,
Right.
and what the
Yeah.
person that we're teaching wants to get, So,
well,
Mhm.
and I always feel like a lot of times I like make my money on my ability to simplify things. Like I take something that people think is overwhelming and I'm able to make it simple for them. And
Yeah.
so if you can do, that's a very like people don't have time for the complication. Like, so if you can do that within your own, realm of figuring out how can I take this scary subject and make it simple? How can I take this scary topic and make it simple? Because there's nothing like even brain surgery is simple once you know all the stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to a certain
in
extent.
the right order.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm not a brain surgeon, so I just threw that out there. But
You know what I
literally,
really, you know what I really like? I really like that. Thanks for sharing that. I really like that because I was looking at it, it's like, oh, that is so true. And I love reverse engineering anyway. But I also thought, because I'm always about promoting, aging women to be, the best, don't stop. And when I look at that, I think, oh my goodness, you know what? That's the beauty of wisdom of aging. Like grab onto it because you've already learned a shit ton. You've already lived a lot of years. You've already got a shit ton of experience, put it all to good use. And that's the benefit of aging. That's the benefit of being older. If you really have been kind of a lifelong learner,
Yeah.
then, it would, but I just come across so many women that don't have the confidence. And so I love to see that because I'd love to get that and say, so there's a gap somewhere in there for a lot of people. Is it the skills gap? Is it the experience gap? I would love to, if you could share that, I would love to have it.
Yeah, and I wanted
Thank you.
I watched a documentary yesterday afternoon. I'm in a documentary group, and so the documentary that we're discussing this next week, we watched yesterday, and it's called Young at Heart. And if you haven't seen it, I think it is like $3. You're gonna have to pay $3 on I think it's on Amazon Prime and it's on Apple. But it's worth the $3, and I feel like after you watch this, you will not second guess your expertise, because what this is about is a group, I think their youngest member was 73, a group of elderly people between the age of 73 and 96 or something that were in a choir that basically took Europe by storm.
Because why not?
Yes, and I mean, like they're singing rock and roll songs, and I mean, it is very endearing, and it really shows it's not because they were the best singers in the world. It was because they were just the most heartfelt singers in the world. So it really can give you confidence to go forth and say, hey, I might not be the best on paper at all of this, but I can bring people through in a different way. And it's
One of
really
the things
cool.
that
What was the name of that?
It's called Young at Heart.
Okay.
I've seen it. It's really good.
It's really
And
cute.
the other one is the thought behind that is that we start feeling old when we stop doing new things.
Yes.
And we just do the same thing over and over again. And then we just sit there and think, well, I'm going to do this till I die. That's it. That's all. But if we are lifelong learners, it's like, oh my gosh, I've got like 6,000 years worth of ideas I want to explore.
Yeah.
And a very short 90-year lifespan. I got to get moving.
Well, and one of the things and I used to be a physical therapist in a nursing home. So these are my people, and
Yep.
I love them so much. And one of the things that really struck me is when you see like one of the oldest ladies, I think she was the oldest lady in the choir. She lived in a nursing home, and it showed her like eating lunch and dinner with and she looks so much younger than everybody else in that room, because she was up and dancing and running, and they had to give her a key to the nursing home because she came in so late so often.
That's awesome.
She's out dancing.
Because she
That
was
lady
in
when
this
I'm
choir
old.
and they were doing these performances and stuff like that. And so she was the only one in the whole place that had her own key to the front door, because she often came in after the staff were in bed.
Oh, that's hysterical.
But it just was like, first of all, yeah, we need to keep active and we need to keep doing what we're doing. But on the other hand, don't shy away. Step on that stage and do what you're supposed to do.
I even find that people, Kim, you had great points there. I also find that people, as simple as some people don't have the capacity to go do a lot of new things or learn things, but even just thinking old, like, okay, now I turned 60. Now this is probably not something I can do, or that's not, it's a lot of times it's the thinking old. I torture my kids because I love TikTok, and I'll send them the picture of the oldest woman dancing on a treadmill. She's overweight, but she's so happy, and she's dancing at 90. This is me. Get ready. So it's really, that's going to be your mama. I'm going to embarrass you all the way to the grave.
I love it. Well, and I'll be creating a choir soon. So if anyone wants to join,
I can't even sing, but I'll go.
I say, I
I
can
don't think
sing
you
loud.
have to. Not all these people were really good. All right,
Talk to you
guys.
guys.
I have
Have
to,
an
I have to hop,
amazing
ladies. So
weekend.
nice to see you.
Yeah, have an amazing weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Goodbye.
Thanks
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.